So, we just kind of stayed in and watched Wonder Woman. We did that.
Oh shit, yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into
Welcome to Breakfast at the Beanery, a bi-weekly podcast about superheroes. I'm Becca.
I'm Mika, and we're glad you're joining us as we break down our latest superhero obsessions. Follow us at Beanery on Twitter, at Breakfast Beanery on Instagram and Tumblr, and of course you can check out our episodes on Castos and our website www.breakfastbeanery.com.
2020, am I right?
It's been a bit of a mess. We're later with this episode than we wanted to be, but we wanted to round out the season with a fun holiday special. So happy holidays, everybody. Some of you may be finished celebrating and others may have more fun to come. So I hope everyone has had or is having a great season.
Yes, happy holidays. We had so many episodes planned out, as we mentioned last episode. We basically sat back, thought it over, and decided to rebrand and reevaluate what we're doing here. Ultimately, Breakfast at the Beanery is supposed to be a fun, casual podcast. We wanted to share some of our thoughts, and it warms our hearts that it reached a few of you.
And if you stuck with us this season, we hope to see you in 2021 when we roll out some new content.
We will announce more on that in the coming months on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. The website will be getting a new look too.
But enough work. We're celebrating the holidays with a Marvel holiday special. You've seen Into the Spider-Verse, right? Right? Please tell me you've seen the best animated film.
If not, that's fine. We're not talking about the movie itself today.
But we will be talking about the Spider-Man Christmas EP. Did you know you can find the entire thing on Spotify?
No one asked for this, but
we're going to review it.
Becca and Mika, podcasters, poets, music experts?
We cover just about everything here.
No Twiterature today either. I think we're gonna go real casual this time. I went out of my way, to buy some hot chocolate. I got some donuts and hot chocolate earlier, and just kind of get cozy for this one. So, how has the season treated you so far?
It's treated me the way that 2020 has been treating me, pretty consistently, like I'm on a roller coaster, and I do not like roller coasters, but when the highs are high, it's fun.
I mean, it really depends on what roller coaster you're on.
That's very true. I haven't been on a roller coaster since 2017, I want to say.
It's probably been even longer for me, but I just have vivid memories of being on the Mr. Freeze at Six Flags and nearly breaking my back on it, and how horrible it was, and I never wanted to be on one. And then I went on the Batman, and it was so nice. But the Batman's a very different kind of roller coaster. And character.
Yes, it's true.
We're not talking about Batman today.
We're not, unfortunately.
Till we get back in our...
about his boyfriend. I'm kidding.
Till we get back in our Gotham talk. Yeah, my holiday was simple. I stayed home,
I do know.
So, we just kind of stayed in and watched Wonder Woman. We did that.
Oh shit, yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get into that review. I wish I could say it's coming, but honestly, I'm kind of like, do I want to talk about it?
I had a thought that we could do an essay about it.
Yes, an essay sounds about right.
Like a review, like a published review. Anyway.
I think that would be great. Okay. Anyways, we'd play the songs, but copyright, right? So if you want to pause the video and listen along with us, the soundtrack is really only about 10 minutes long.
They did that thing where they didn't commit to the bit, or they kind of started to, but they just didn't have the means to follow through. As in, Peter has one of those full-length infomercials about his Christmas album, and the official release is 5 special songs. So it's still nice, but it's not quite what was in the movie. But it's fine, at least in this EP, we get a variety of spider songs, and we love that. Also, fun fact, I hadn't listened to this until today, so this is gonna be very fun.
Yes. Here we are with Joy to the World by Shamik Moore. So Miles. I think that this song hits harder because of 2020, since everybody can really vibe with the sentiment of, you know, you want to be paid for your goods and services.
Right. He does this, like, the way that he, like, plugs his GoFundMe at the end really sent me over the edge. I was like, I love him so much. I know that, like, generally I relate to Peter, but Miles really is a voice of, like, our current time, and I would say Gen Z very much so. And I feel like the song showcases his personality in that way. It's very different than, like, the Peter songs, and just any Peter include thinly veiled insult towards the MC Peter.
I think you mean Tony Stark Jr.
Yes,
but we're not going to get
Stark
into
Jr.
that.
We should.
Honestly,
let us know on our social media if you want us to talk about.
Comment below if you want us to get into how we feel about Tom Holland's Peter Parker. I didn't add this in my notes, but I think it really is such a good opener because, like you said, it showcases the Gen Z of it all. And because of that, there's this sense of, like, hope that kind of he brings that the jaded Peters unfortunately don't bring.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, speaking of jaded Peters, let's move on to Spidey Bells, in parentheses here, A Hero's Lament by Chris Pine.
Or Peter Parker.
Sorry, yeah, the blonde Peter Parker.
Blonde, the celebrity Peter Parker.
I guess for me, I really loved how we dove into this track with some sick bells, and I don't know how I feel about them using goblin smells, because it feels like a cheap joke, but it is also in line with my childhood nostalgia of how you just, you know, replace the lyrics that way anyways.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of the song is when he starts, like, repeating, like, the fling part. And then, of course, the bridge, which takes me out. But the more that I've listened to this, because I listened to this when it dropped, the more that I can appreciate the bridge and, like, the lyric about him having a degree in chemical engineering. And it's very on point in that I too break down in the middle of A Christmas Carol.
I definitely think that this one's not as good as Miles. I think that none of them are as good as his. Like, if you were to look at this from a strictly in-character point of view, he's like, Peter's like, maybe he's having a rough day. I don't know.
Rough life.
His rhythm's off is all I'm saying. So maybe he was not prepared. But when he breaks it down, you're really gonna feel for his authentic self. And I appreciate that. Plus, like, I agree. I loved I think I laughed out loud at I have a degree in chemical engineering, because I was like, you're so right. Like, I get that. I feel that. Him having a whole crisis mid-recording is such a mood. And I'm very happy that they kept it in.
Me too. I mean, I could be misremembering this, but I'm pretty sure when this played in the theater, this was the song that played during the credits.
Yeah.
And I remember I was walking out. I think I watched this for the first time with my brother, where we walked out of the theater. We were walking down the stairs, since it was a big theater, and then when he was breaking down, I had to stop, like, in the middle of the hallway, because I was like, no, now I have to listen to the rest of it. Because now it has me, because I connect on a spiritual level.
Especially because you know that this Peter Parker is, like, the celebrity one, right? Like, he's the one that kind of sold out a little bit, and it, like, he breaks down, and you're like, no, I get it. I get it. You're just doing your best. Freelancing, getting what you can. I appreciate you, Peter. And then we get Peter B.
Yes, with Deck the Halls by Jake Johnson. Or Peter B. Parker. And honestly, the first thing I wrote here was nice.
Yes, very nice. Didn't even have to listen to it yet, and it was like, this is gonna be good. This is our boy. We love Peter B.
Mm-hmm.
We also love Jake Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whenever I pictured him in the like recording booth or wherever they did this, I'm like, it really feels like he's just like in a robe, in his PJs, just showed up in the morning. He's like, I've got an hour with you guys. I don't have any coffee. We're just gonna wing it.
Yeah.
Or fling it. Swing it. I think this one's one of my favorites because I love him the most, but he puts a lot of his personality into it. And I remember seeing that interview that Jake Johnson did where he was talking about how he doesn't mean for his characters to like be this way,
Yeah.
but he just like shows up and acts a certain way because that's how he is, and then his characters end up reflecting that and people love it, so he just stays part of it. But I love that for Peter B because I think that it's a tangent from Peter as we would, like the blonde Peter as we would see him, that is really relatable and plausible, and I appreciate him. He did really good with this song. Vibe.
Yeah, he did a little crowd work, and he, called on MJ. I really liked that part because, like, and I think Jake did a good job because it would feel like super gimmicky, I think, if it were anybody else. But the way that he delivered it, where he was like, oh, you're not a fan of that? I promised I wouldn't do that. It was just very natural.
Yeah.
And then I have the lyric that's like, we all have to save each other. I was like, so poignant, so eloquent, so emotionally grounded. That's what we love about Peter B.
We do. Also, it's a little different than other Peter, blonde Peter, because he would be like, I don't remember what it is, but just his personality of like, he saved the day, like, so it's all on him. Whereas you get a little bit of Peter B is like, maybe I just don't want to put in all of that work.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can share some of the effort.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Speaking of blonde Peter, we have our very last song,
Yes.
Up on the Housetop by Chris Pine / blonde Peter. And weirdly, Chris Pine did more in this song than they let him do in Wonder Woman. But that's a whole other story. And I really like how they played with his cadence, I guess, because he really does have like a jovial way of speaking or singing.
Well, that's why Chris Pine gets casted as Princess all the time.
Mm-hmm. Very jovial, very princely. Yeah. Thwip, thwip.
Just in our notes, thwip, thwip.
Thwip, thwip. And I think I put this down that I think this is the best song to be wrapping presents to, or like if you actually want to get into the holiday spirit, I would say that Shamique's song and then this song are like pretty fun to put, lights up to or struggle with wrapping paper if you're me.
I agree. This is a song that makes me wish that we had the whole Peter Parker album, because he really he has this the character in his songs, and I love that he's just like, they all do this in the lyrics, but he's constantly dragging all of his enemies. And so I was like, this technically counts as a diss track. Like, these are all diss tracks because they're just throwing their villains under the bus and talking about how smelly they are and how they suck. I love it. I love the Spider-Man diss tracks.
It's very, very Batman of him.
Yeah.
Moving on to The Night Before Christmas, 1967, spoken by, I can't say his name, dear God, I'm so sorry. The Lonely Island dude.
Jorma Taccone. I actually don't know how to pronounce his name either.
Yeah. Green Goblin in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Did a little bit of research because I was like, I don't remember this dude. It kind of made me wish that John Mulaney did something.
Oh, yeah. It was a missed opportunity. I feel like they should have had all of the Spideys.
They should have had all of them, yeah.
That would have been a good addition.
Especially because, oh god, it was Kimiko Glenn, right? Who voiced Oh my god, what's
Oh,
her
I have
name?
no idea.
I think it was. And like we know she can sing. So I'm like,
We could have had a Nick Cage song.
that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine? Like, anyways, sorry to derail.
The fans lament.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really loved the way they infused it with Spider-Man, like that.
Yes.
My Spidey senses.
Yeah, there were certain lines in there that were really nice. And then also, like, I really appreciated, not that I don't love a classic story, I just appreciated that he was like, anyway, we're gonna skip all this and go to the end.
I appreciated it too.
There was definitely some character in there. And they do this in this song, but they do it in all of them where they like leave in the non-song recording, like the bits that are just like candid. I appreciate that too.
Mhm.
Plus, if we want to really dive into it, you get to see how he handles the payment versus how Peter or Miles handle it.
Yeah.
Assuming that you would go from in character, because Miles kind of sets, like, Shamik sets this precedent, I guess, of the needing money to be in character, and then Chris with Peter like reaffirms that, so you would assume that all of the moments that are in the song are supposed to be in character.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I said that I love that we contributed to the capitalist structures that keep all of these Spideys bound forever and ever. Amen. Hashtag stream A Very Spidey Christmas.
Yes, those poor spiders. They just can't get out of the system.
Mm-hmm. Neither can we.
Oh, yeah, mood. It's very true. Anyway, final thoughts. What do you rate the EP?
I would say that it deserves 7 Spideys out of 10 Spideys. Maybe 7.5 Spideys.
A significant amount of Spideys, average if you were to grade it in the education system. I will give it 6.5 flips.
Not
out of
so
10.
generous. Whipping there.
It's clear that they're not getting paid enough. You can see it in the work.
Yeah. And on the flip side, though, kudos to the band, the instrumentalists, the musicians.
Right. They get 9 out of 10 flips. 9 flips. And the Spider-Man ornament, complimentary for the project.
The thing is, if they were paid enough, I would 100% listen to a full studio album of Spidey carols. I think we just established that, like, with the whole cast. It would have been amazing.
I agree. I want the Nick Cage one.
Me too.
I just think that would have been really fun. Oh, it definitely needed more. Like, if not that, then at least more songs. Like, another Miles song would have been good.
Yeah. And so, we ended up with this small little EP. 10 minutes worth of feigned merriment.
A very Spidey Christmas. More like a mildly Spidey Christmas.
I think it fits as a way to send off this year, though.
Yeah, it really does scream 2020, which is amazing because they didn't make this in 2020.
Right.
It's ahead of its time.
Avant-garde.
Mostly it just shows that, you know, the Spideys are doing the best that they can, just like we do.
Yeah. Do you think they'll do something like this with the next Spider-Man movie?
Oh my god, I hope so. Probably not like this specifically, but if they do like more bonus content for the hell of it, like, it really feels like they just booked each person for like an hour tops and handed them lyrics and said, okay, let's just be casual and have fun. So I doubt it took up too much of their time. So it could really be nice to just have like a little bonus. Just grab everybody you can for a day, have them do a little something.
Yeah, Shamik really did do work, though.
Not to have a bias, but his was the best.
It's the truth. And on that note, thank you for listening to this very mild review of a very mild EP. We hope the next year brings you all the joy. It's been really fun sharing our thoughts with you, and honestly, this isn't so much of a goodbye as it is see you later when we have more things figured out, or when I finally get around to editing our little trailer. What?
As always, you can keep up with us on our social media. Twitter at Beanery, Instagram at Breakfast Beanery, and breakfastbeanery.tumblr.com. I did not list the website because our website is going to be moving in the coming months. So keep an eye out for big changes. This podcast and all of our future endeavors exist so that we can share our thoughts and experiences with the rest of general fandom. So we hope to interact with everybody more this year.
Yeah, so Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Whip.